Oh, don't I start with like a or something? I don't know. I don't really remember. It has been so long since I last did an overweight yoga video, and I kind of wanted to clear some things up before I continued. So right now I have lost like 5 pounds on Starch Solution in like a week and a half, which is very, very cool. I'm totally into that because it hasn't been any type of work or anything. Um, so I don't know what'll happen if I stop being overweight. Also, I want to acknowledge like I'm healthy and happy, and so are a lot of people who are like technically overweight, and a lot of like bigger girls where we might work out as much as the next person, we might eat healthy, and it's none of anyone's business anyway. But I just wanted to say there's no shame in being overweight. It's not like whatever, right? You know. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is getting into split practice because I haven't been doing that lately. And I feel like I've just been focusing on my legs. My legs are just like my pride and joy. And I stopped squatting as much. I stopped doing weightlifting. And at the very least, I want to keep my flexibility. So I'm going to show you guys a little splits routine that I do to help myself stay limber, and possibly we'll see if at the end of the day I can get my foot behind my head, which is not splits practice, but which I just like to do. So what we're working on right now is front splits, not side splits, because I don't have anything near a side split. Front splits, though, the first thing to do is just loosen up your hamstrings. And I like doing that with a nice little forward fold because it's yummy. You just you hang, and if you can't touch the ground, don't feel bad. Just like one of the helpful things is wrapping your arms together like this, and then just letting it hang and swinging the top of your body back and forth until you really relax into the stretch. Oh, that feels so good. You can do that for as long as you want. Just stretch and swing, stretch and swing. And when you feel like it's all good, then I want you to raise so that you have a flat back, and profile would be like flat back like this, and then keep that core engagement and just bend down again. And that'll just remind you to bend your legs, or not to bend your legs, to stretch your legs instead of just stretching your back. Because you could do it like, whoa, and it's not really a leg stretch. But if you keep your core engaged and really bend down, it's like, ooh, I feel that right here, you know? Okay, so once you've stretched out your hamstrings, like, enough, I'd probably do it for a little bit longer than that. Then you can go into, I think this is called pyramid pose. Guys, I'm not a yoga instructor, but you'll feel that here as well. And it's in a different way than the other one. You feel this, and then I'll just help limber you up for the future stretch. I've heard people you can lift your toes up if that helps. And you keep that really for as long as you feel the need. I'll hold a stretch for like 30 seconds to 2 minutes, depending on how stretchy I think that space needs to be for the day. And then you do it again on this side. Always stay even. It's very, very important to stay even with your stretching, because if you're not evenly stretched on both sides, it can lead to anything from like a headache to sometimes even injury, I believe, if you really focus on stretching one side over the other. So once you've held that for a moderate amount of time, as much time as you see fit, we're going to go into downward dog, which is just a really good like centering pose. You see where you're at with downward dog. Oh, and this is a good plank. I'm going to do a plank challenge to make up for that one that I didn't do. But wait, I want to know how like Megan Curry gets into like downward dog really cool. She's like, you can move your legs in. Just focus on getting that head through your shoulders. Downward dog is so important. You You can pedal out your legs. Okay. Now, I want you to lift one leg up. You can let it fall to the side. Do some hip circles. Hip circles. And bring your leg in through your arms and down so that it's perpendicular, as perpendicular as possible to your other leg. And just fold down there. Breathe into the stretch. And I would suggest taking pigeon for around 2 minutes on each side. I don't have the time to do that right now, so we're going to do just breathing in and out. My camera cut out, which is so wonderful, but now we're just going to do this side. This side. Ooh. Feel the stretch there. And you're going to want to keep that for 2 minutes as well. Now, we have one more kind of a more relaxed stretch that we'll do before we get into splits. And that is, I think it's called lizard pose. It's just like you get yourself lower, maybe wear more flexible pants than I'm wearing, just push down, and then you can put your torso and stuff below your hip line, and that is such a good hip stretch. Oh my gosh. Ah, it feels amazing. And you can keep that for 2 minutes as well on each side. So, switching it up. Seriously, do hold these stretches more than I am. I just don't have the time or storage to hold them as long as you should. That's not my hair. To hold them as long as you should, and right, but you should hold them long. Right. I know what I'm doing, guys. I'm basically a yoga instructor. Okay, so now that you feel centered, just make sure that you can put your hands flat on the ground before you do this next stretch. Because if you can't, then that should be your focus in all of those stretches. Just cycle them through a lot and see how you feel, see how flexible you are. So I'm just going to try to see how far I can get into a split right off the bat. And you know, it's not perfect and it might not always be perfect. So I'll do like a couple cycles of these stretches more often so that I can get like a good split going. Try it on me. Hold that for a little longer too. Then you should try it on the other side. So graceful. Guys, I really don't know how yoga instructors get to be as graceful as they are, because I feel like it's something like that maybe I'll just never access, you know? My other foot is like against the wall right now, so that's not ideal either. Oof. But you get the gist. Just stretching it out. So, see, look at this. My yoga mat is everywhere. I'm everywhere. This is filmed from the worst angle. Thank God my body looks a decent. Anyway, so I would be going over those cycles. Like when I was actually trying to get into splits and I didn't have anywhere near a split, I would do that a couple times a day, like usually a couple times in a row. And it's not just meant to be like a one and done thing. You really go through the cycle more and you'll get more out of it each time you do it. And some people take a couple months to get a split, some people take a lot longer. It's really like, it's completely up to you how long you take it to get a split or not, you know, like either way can be great. I'm like impressed by what they do in the Nicki Minaj video where it's like, how do you twerk? I don't know how to twerk anyway. I don't know why I thought that would work.